Hey.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent Podcast, and we are coming to you live from the 10 by 10 by 10 tangent cube of science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed, high atop the Edwards Plateau. Yet another live episode. Still working on catching up on our emails. I swear, we are gonna catch up to this year.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Also, we are going to talk about the Biondi interview with Rogan.
Yeah.
Both of us went through that. I have some ideas and thoughts about it. Kyle does as well. We were starting to discuss it last week, but Kyle was like, let's hold off and, make sure we listen to it. I hadn't listened to it yet, so I just finished it earlier today. So we are going to discuss that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. Cheers.
Take your sip of smelling salts.
Cheers. Snake Force in the chat. Thank you guys for being there.
What's up?
And, should we do Space Weather News? Oh, look at that. So professed. Space Weather News from spaceweather.com. What is up in space? We have a co-rotating interaction region because minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible on February 14th when a CIR or co-rotating interaction region is expected to hit Earth. CIRs are transition zones between fast and slow-moving streams of solar wind. They contain shock waves and enhanced magnetic fields that do a good job of sparking Arctic auroras. So the current conditions, solar wind speed is 393.2 kilometers per second. The density is, seems high, 3.54 protons per cubic centimeter. Current sunspot number is 84. Current KP index is 1.67.
I knew it.
It's a lot of protons per cubic centimeter. Seems
Felt
like
weird out there
almost
today.
4.
You got to remind me, this is another thing that has to go on the list. I got to turn the crickets off.
I got to turn off
Crickets are just blazing up there. So.
All right. So you already were starting to tell me what you thought about the interview. Like mostly like the universe is simple. You didn't like this statement.
I kind of like, I'm a little both sides of that fence too. Cause,
okay, let me just, I know I just asked you to tell me what you think and now I'm interrupting you, but let me just tell you, first of all, what happened to me while I was listening to this is, I now, I've spent years with my wife who is learning English, and a lot of times it reminded me of some things that would happen between her and I with our communication where she's using a specific set of words and not precisely. Right. And then I get all like, actually precisely. Yeah. And she's like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to say it properly. Right. Yeah. And so when
classic cop out.
I know.
Classic.
But when I'm listening to him, I'm like, I wonder if some of this is like language problems, because like, first of all, his English, and he apologizes for it at the beginning, but his English he struggles with his English.
Yeah.
Even in just saying, sort of normal phrases, he sort of struggles with it. And there were a couple times I think he was started to apologize because Joe would ask him a question and he starts responding in Italian.
Yep.
So I think some of it was language, but the other thing I noticed was on that universe, he says the universe is simple. But then later what he said was it's an open book.
Yeah.
That made more sense. Yeah. It's an open book. You just have to look at it.
Well, that wasn't even my main. I was just laughing about it because he does it a couple of times. He says the universe is simple, Yeah. And then when he goes to describe it, he says, but it all comes down to these constants.
Yes, the constants. Right.
And it's like, okay. He uses the speed of light, for example. Like, I mean, okay, it's straight up near. Well, actually, they aren't actually constant. We use them as a mathematical tool.
Yeah.
Like the speed of light.
Yeah.
But that's not really here or there having to do with the pyramid scans.
Don't believe him, folks. He was complaining.
I
all
was.
day.
But that was not a topic I was
know.
going to bring up about the scans. The point that I was just laughing about is that like this guy, it says something if he's just like, well, the universe is actually so simple. And then when he describes it as a book, he's like, well, all we have to do is observe it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, that is actually very difficult.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
It's like, well, energy is free. We just have to get it here.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing. And I'm like, well, maybe if he thinks so that's why I'm on both sides of the fence, because I look at quantum physics, I look at all this stuff, and then I think to myself, like, actually, I bet it's more simple. I bet there's a principle there that is actually much more beautifully simple than
we're having to look through
in.
like emergent complexity to see the simplicity at the bottom. It's something like that's what I thought of.
I don't know.
And I don't really like that emergent stuff either, so I'm not sure.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm on both sides of the fence, because on the one hand, it's like, well, it's not actually simple to figure this stuff out. We're like 200 something years in, and we're still like maybe we're completely wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So to just sort of laugh it off and say, well, it's so simple, we just need to observe. Like, you can't even, in a lot of cases, know what you're looking at when you're observing.
That's right.
So that's sort of splitting hairs, maybe. But then on the other side, I'm kind of like, yeah, I am a person who, when I look at all of this stuff, I think, well, maybe there is actually a very simple principle.
I also thought that, yeah,
you know,
right,
that's not really my
and
bone
like
to pick.
You know, and we've, like, physicists have said this, and mathematicians as well, that like when they're trying to understand the process of something and it's very complex, they're like, no, something's wrong here, because they all know that it when you get it right, it's reduced down to this beautiful, simple, you know, short phrase, a mathematical phrase or whatever, basically. But I also thought that in the context of what he was saying around that it seemed to me more like what he was trying to illustrate was that rather than letting preconceived notions define what you think about something, you just need to look.
Yes.
That's what I thought he was trying to say. You know.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So here's where I'm at with it. We've said many times that, like, we're open to this idea, like it's cool. I think that the SAR sort of you know, whatever it is, Doppler tomography is promising, right? Like, I think it could be utilized as a tool where I've sort of stopped believing in this particular analysis has to do with the analysis of the data.
Right.
Like, okay, yes, you can collect data on underground structures using this. And I want to go through and sort of describe this process to everybody. I pulled up his paper from 2022 on the Great Pyramid. And I want to illustrate basically the problem with the analysis. And the reason I want to illustrate this is not to say it's all bullshit, but it's to say, like, I'm here. There are reasons why I'm still skeptical, and there are other possibilities. Like, there are other possible reasons for the data that came in, the heat maps that we look at. Maybe there's some other reason why they're down that low. The other thing that I would put on that is that, like I said last week, these don't look like anything that we see in Egypt when we see, like, open pits and the geometry of structures that we've seen there. So either this is like has nothing to do with the pyramids themselves, and the pyramids were just built on top of this old thing. I don't know, but it's like, I don't know. I have issues with that on a completely separate level. Like, it just doesn't look right in terms of what we do see in Egypt, what we can observe. And not to mention the water table. We're talking about structures, gigantic rooms a mile down, 2,100 feet, or not, a half a mile down almost. So it just seems implausible to me that there is something like that, especially when we have the water table and all the problems that would happen there in the limestone as a man-made structure. It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'm skeptical, but I mean, if you want, we can go through this paper real quick. I mean, I'm just going to scroll through. We're going to look at images.
Okay.
So let's see. I don't remember what the button is.
There it is.
Okay.
You got it. First try.
Okay, so this is the paper. Synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography reveals details of undiscovered high-resolution internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza by Filippo Biondi and Corrado Malenga. And this is from 2022. I'll read the abstract. It says, a problem with synthetic aperture radar is that due to the poor penetrating action of electromagnetic waves inside solid bodies, the capability to observe inside distributed targets is precluded. Under these conditions, imaging action is provided only on the surface of distributed targets. The present work describes an imaging method based on the analysis of micro movements on the Khumfuku pyramid, which are usually generated by background seismic waves. So this is what we were saying last week. The radar is not penetrating the ground. It's just looking at the surface. But it's this vibration of the earth or the structure. And because because the satellite is moving through space, it can basically triangulate because it takes a picture over here and over here and over here and over here and over here through time. It can cancel out the time and notice that the actual structure itself is moving from acoustic waves, from mechanical waves, which Biondi described on Joe Rogan's podcast. And through those waves, it essentially makes it transparent and you can see things underneath. So the obtained results proved to be very promising. A high-resolution full 3D tomographic image of the pyramid's interior and subsurface was achieved. The pyramid becomes transparent when observed in the micromovement domain. Based on this novelty, we have completely reconstructed internal objects, observing and measuring structures that have never been discovered before. The experimental results are estimated by processing series of SAR images from the second-generation Italian Cosmos SkyMed satellite system, demonstrating the effectiveness of the proposed method. So I just want to show you, because again, I will state that I think that this process works. Yes, you can image underground. And if you look it up and you ask AI or whatever, can this possibly look underground? Yes, it can. The question is, how do you interpret the data? So I don't understand all this math. This is a nice diagram. Can I zoom in? So it's just like you imagine that the satellite is moving through space and it's looking at this particular place. I don't know what this whole thing with the weights, but I think it's talking about resonance or something. But basically this is how you would triangulate with the same satellite. Right? It's timed very precisely. And you can notice a shift in the movement of the Earth.
Yeah.
From these two positions.
I think, the springs are simulating the slight vibrations, right?
Something
with the
like
weights
that.
on
I
them.
didn't even look at the details, but what I want to get to is some of these images down here. Okay, so this is the proposed chambers and tunnels in the Great Pyramid. This is not even Khufu. This is this is not the Khafre scans that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's Khufu.
This is Khufu. This is not the one that has these massive structures underneath, apparently. So here we go. They have.
You need to hit accept on your PDF reader down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Accept all.
There you go.
So sorry,
now,
folks.
When you zoom in, it won't.
I ignore
the screen,
dude. I ignore all that stuff because when I'm looking through news. Okay, so this is some of the data. This is some of the data they're getting back from looking, and see how they've overlaid it on the actual pyramid. Now look at these structures. Look at these round, spiraling, vertical shapes in the sky.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Now you've got these dark areas here. Anyway, so then you got this dark red area down here, right here. This is supposed to be the grotto. Okay, we'll see more of that. But I'm just pointing this out. Look at this regular repeating pattern of these vertical.
Yeah, I see it.
Things with
vertical columns,
they look like, okay. Okay, here's a good one. This is the Queen's chamber. This is the data. They overlaid the data on this drawing. Look at how huge the Queen's chamber looks when really it's actually right here.
Yeah.
And
there's a reflection.
Look at the size of the tunnel that leads to the Queen's chamber. Okay. Here. This is the robber's tunnel. The grotto is right here somewhere.
Yeah.
Right there, right? You went there.
Yep.
It goes up this vertical shaft and then boom, the grotto is right here. Look at the size of this, what I would call a reflection.
Yeah, it's some kind of reflection, yeah. Now, are they accounting for that? Like they're showing the
This is what I'm saying. Like you have to account for this. My point is that the data is not.
You can see it there in the subterranean chamber. There's a light blue over top of it, like a reflection off the floor.
Right here.
Yeah.
And then there's this big dark area. And but again, look at the vertical. There's like these vertical things.
Structure, yeah.
Okay. So now he's got the King's chamber and you can see the light blue all around and then there's the dark red in some of these places. But there's a bunch of dark red down here, not in a chamber. I'm just pointing this out. So this is what I'm saying. Again, you can see this is like an artifact of the actual scanning itself or something like that. These vertical lines.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. So now they're getting into, so if you go back up to this image, you see all this big long chamber down here.
Yeah.
These things sticking off. So we're going to go and look at those. So here's one example. He's showing the line, this side of the pyramid. Here's this, and then these things coming off. Now remember, when you were looking at the Queen's chamber shaft, there was this same color in the heat map, this huge thing going along what is a very small tunnel.
Right.
So could this just be a crack, like joins between blocks? Under the pyramid, the tiles, these massive floor tiles of the pyramid.
Tiles.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, guys, I hate to be pooping on the party here, but look at the vertical, again, these round, what look like the vertical shafts in the data. So that artifact appears over and over. And when you look at the heat map, and I'll pull it up, let's see if I can find it here. I didn't have one pulled up. Okay, here. Now I forgot what number. Look at this. This is under the Khafre pyramid.
Yeah.
So this is an artifact. These vertical appear like
they
geometric
look similar to the ones that were being seen in the sky above the...
Yes. I think that this vertical sort of sliced column looking things are just an artifact of the data itself. Now, why is this all red and then red up here? I don't know. But one of the reasons why this type of analysis or this data is not fully accepted or vetted by, I guess, science or engineers or people who use this for underground structures is because it's very difficult to determine the difference between solid and voids, because sometimes the solids having just slightly different attributes or densities can show up as voids, and it's very difficult for them to determine which one is an actual void or what. So I'm just saying, I think it's a healthy skepticism to be like, well, we need to see. That's kind of where I'm at with it. And I think Filippo is very confident in his results, and he showed on Joe Rogan scans where they went over the
particle
collider and all this other kind of stuff.
Now they picked up the lab.
Yes. The problem with that is you introduce bias immediately in the analysis because you know where the structure is. You know where it is. So when you're dealing with like some algorithm or some way to process the data, you're like, well, this is all noise. That's all noise. We know that this is where the meat is. So then you can tell the algorithm to like do whatever you want to get the right result when you know the truth already.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they did that, but I'm just telling you, or I think that you can introduce bias in that way.
I think so. I mean, what I would expect was, because he said they scanned a train tunnel as well, and when he was on the show with us, which some people are saying we need to speak to him. We did. We had him on the show.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
We talked to him. It's very interesting, and he talked about doing, like, first they were doing lab experiments where they were basically looking through, in a lab doing something, obviously not using a satellite, but simulating it with a moving camera, looking through water at things beneath a container of water. And so, like, the idea that I got was, and he didn't say this specifically, but the idea that I got was if you're trying to do this technology and you're sincere about it, you're not just trying to be a grifter, which I don't think that's what he's doing. Your algorithm or whatever it is that the software that does the interpretation of the data that you get needs to be the same every time.
Yes, and that also needs to be published.
Yeah.
I know right now it's like he's dealing with like...
he said he just applied for a U.S. patent.
Yeah, patents and all this kind of stuff. So this is a money-making venture if it's accurate. So that plays a role. Like now you're not going to release how you analyze the data, how you do the process. That's a problem.
Yeah.
The other thing, I used Grok.
So all I'm saying about introducing bias is I would think that by the time you get to the point where you're scanning using satellite imagery to scan the laboratory of the particle collider, that you're no longer instructing the algorithm in how to work. You're using a proven process, and so you shouldn't be introducing any bias there unless you're still tweaking it. In other words, it's still a test and not an actual.
Yeah.
So that's the part of the process I don't know, because I haven't been able to ask him those questions, and I would at what point did you stop tweaking the software that is doing the interpretation, because no human is doing these interpretations. Right. So what I would expect is you scan a known structure and then using your software interpretation, and if the software interpretation comes back as not matching the known structure, then you tweak it and you keep doing it until you get it right, and then you scan something else and check it.
Yeah.
Right? And does it work in multiple situations or whatever? He seems extremely confident that it's accurate at this point. And I don't know what to think about that, except all I can say is at the very least, I would love for them to be able to dig out one of those shafts on the plateau.
Yes, that would be great. If nothing else, if this just gets one of those shafts dug out, that would be awesome. It'd be like, great, thanks for getting the shaft dug out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if this scan is accurate.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. So this is the other thing. On the Rogan show, he said they got some imaging of the shafts, and the shafts also go down 648 meters.
Yeah, he said
and have giant rooms at the bottom.
He said they connect to it, yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, this has to be an artifact. Like the idea that under the pyramid, specifically, there's like all these shafts that go down 648 meters, and then there's these giant cube-like rooms at the bottom that are enormous. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what they were. What was the number? Was it like 60 meters by something? They were just enormous rooms.
Carl is telling us to look at figure 6B in the paper.
Okay, Carl. But then, 6B. What page is that on, dude?
Well, the ones we were looking at were like 20 something. So
figure. It's probably some ridiculously complex math crap that I won't understand. Carl. Where is it? 3, 5, 6. Well, that's just 6.
So what, that next one?
Which one?
That? That's
7.
Oh. Okay.
Carl, page number, dude.
He posted a link in there.
So, oh, okay. Let me go get that. Am I sure I want to leave YouTube? I'll go to the site.
Oh, the volcano scanning.
Yes. Okay, volcanoes. Yes, so they also
6B.
scanned some volcanoes. 3, 4, 6B. Is that... Oh, dude. Okay, yes, this is good. Is this 6B?
I can't
I
tell.
don't even see a 6, but...
Yeah.
All right,
So it's
so...
figure 5. Figure 6. Yeah, 6A, 6B. Yeah.
Okay, so... I'm assuming you're showing me this because here's the hole. There's the hole. And then there's this massive cube room underneath it that's 60 meters by something, 648 meters below ground. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, this is a reflection. There's like some kind of weird reflection. I'm guessing that's why he's suggesting we look at it.
I think he's also saying that the lines are there. They're just not.
No, they're in
not
the other
vertical.
direction.
Yeah.
Or this is a zoomed in
Yeah.
gigantic column.
Right.
With the spiraling staircase passing here and here. I'm sorry.
The other thing that the other thing that happened when I was listening to the Rogan, when we had him on our show and we asked him, like, are you sure these are circular? And he was like, yes, yes. But then when he's talking about, he was like, look, you use GPR knowing that you can get fairly precise measurements, but to a limited depth.
Yeah.
He was like, if you want rough measurements to a much greater depth, you use our method. Because their precision is like within a meter, not
it's
centimeters.
a meter. It's
so
like 1 meter.
The idea that you can tell if something is circular versus square, let's say that the structures are there in some way. There's no reason to think that they're not square like all the other shafts we see in Egypt.
Right.
I don't know why they've decided to say they're circular. Maybe they have a good reason, but if the resolution is a meter, then they could be squares.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I don't really know. It's just weird that anomaly shows up in like every scan, including the sky.
Right.
Around
that, to me, it looks like an artifact of the scanning. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
the question is are those, is the shafts that we're seeing that he's saying are shafts below the pyramid, are those artifacts? In other words, are they part of that artifact system?
Yeah, so that's what so this is what I wanted to, I was talking to
it's
my buddy
like
Grok.
banding in old school printing, You're like, wow, this is an artifact of the fact that the printer is using a million little dots. And if you look at it from the right distance, it can look like a bunch of columns.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right. But that's a known artifact, and you can account for it and still see data in there. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I asked Grok. I was having this conversation with Grok about synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. And I'm asking, specifically, I said, is it possible for the underground results to be false due to specific reflection or some other phenomenon? Because I don't know what it would be called.
Right.
And so Grok lists out a few possible things for false results. So it says, regarding false results, yes, underground imaging via this method can produce inaccuracies or artifacts due to several phenomena. False alarms from geometric features, angles, or surfaces of structures, for example, pyramid slopes, can generate misleading signals that appear as anomalies. Interpretation errors. Visual analysis of the data may lead to misidentification, especially since the technique currently struggles to distinguish between solid materials and empty spaces. I didn't dig into that one, but that's interesting. Non-homogeneity of materials. Variation in soil, rock density, or other subsurface compositions can cause distortions or errors in reconstruction. So we know, for example, these massive floor tiles go underneath the casing stones and some core masonry. They're enormous. Yeah. And at some point it interfaces with the bedrock, which is very different.
Yeah.
And where you walk around the Giza Plateau, there's fissures, there's cracks, there's holes, all kinds of stuff in the bedrock that is not in the floor tiles.
Right.
So that image of the Great Pyramid with these big chambers that they're saying, you know, it's kind of like, could that actually be just the floor tiles, their joints, I don't know. Artifacts from SAR image formation. General issues like multipath reflections, clutter, or noise in the raw data can introduce spurious features. Limited penetration in environmental factors. While the method uses vibrations rather than direct radar penetration, weak or inconsistent seismic activity, atmospheric interference, or data processing limitations can result in incomplete or erroneous outputs. I don't know. The one that really jumped out the most to me was, interpretation errors and homogeneity of materials, and the idea that it's difficult to distinguish between solid materials and empty spaces. I think that's illustrated clearly by the heat maps that they overlaid on the pyramid. It's like, pick one.
Yeah. And so my interpretation of that is that the heat map is not drawing the structure for you. He's trying to illustrate the data they got, right? But you can correct for those things if you've got enough samples of it over time.
This is why I'm saying it's promising. Like, I think that the technology is promising. I think it's too early to get excited about this particular scan.
Yeah, I'm not excited at all.
The internet is already excited. It's fine, whatever.
I'm totally chill about this.
You were jumping up and down earlier today when we were talking about it. You were like, yes, yeah.
I was trying to get you excited.
And then we were like, dude, listen, we gotta shill for the standard model. Calm down.
I was trying to get you excited. Didn't work.
We got to go on the show and put on the standard model face.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put on the, we're getting paid.
Yeah,
we're paid
shills. Have those establishment checks.
Yeah. So.
I actually, what happens to me with this topic is interesting, is that when I spoke to him, I became way less skeptical.
Yeah, me too.
And then over time, I'm like, I don't know. And then I listen to him on Rogan again. I'm like, okay, I'm in again a little bit. I still think that the best, like my actual position on this is that I am all for this kind of endeavor. Because even if this isn't working properly, we need something like this. And the other thing it reminded me of was Tesla talking about how he could use his vibration machine to basically make the Earth transparent. Remember?
Yes.
And this reminded me of that, because this guy's basically saying, well, the Earth is already vibrating, and now we can measure it very precisely with radar from satellites, and we can measure it over time and across a distance in an arc that's known within very small tolerances. Like you were mentioning last time we were talking about this, that a satellite's actual position is variable, but it's variable within tiny tolerances.
Yeah.
And they know this because they talk to each other with lasers and shit.
Right,
a lot of these satellites use positioning on themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't be good. You're building a map, you need to know exactly where that satellite is.
Right.
But you take a whole bunch of images and radar data across an arc of time, and now you have all of this within, and then the actual radar itself is a known wavelength with a known frequency, very precisely controlled. It's got a tolerance, right? It isn't exactly whatever frequency they tell you it is. It goes up and down, but within a known amount. And those kinds of things introduce noise into the data, but that can be corrected for. And the point is that, like Tesla saying, I can use this machine to make the Earth transparent. What this guy is saying is the Earth already vibrates, and now we can measure it in a way Tesla never could.
Right.
And so he's saying we don't have to vibrate the Earth. It's already doing it. We just have to measure it precisely enough to make it transparent.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what he's trying to do. And even if it isn't like perfect yet, this is the right way to go. And I think some of our friends in technology have told us this as well. Like the technology's promising. The only question is interpretation of the data, and then we need other institutions and people looking at the method and also trying it, finding out errors, and you need a collaboration.
And then when they figure it all out, it will be a black box and we'll never see anything.
He already implied that he's working for the Italian military.
Yeah.
And that he was doing that before he was radar guy.
I guess it'll be like it'll probably be like Google Earth. There'll just be black spots on the planet where it's like, no,
you're not allowed to look through this part. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I believe it's promising. I mean, when I learned how it worked, it was like, well, yes,
yeah,
of course you can see. Now it comes down to resolution, analysis, how to get rid of the artifacts, how to get rid of false positives.
Yeah.
How to distinguish between solid and air, solid materials and air.
Yeah. And I also,
water.
I don't get the idea that he's like specifically hasty either. He said they sat on this information for a year. They did multiple scans of it. They had scanned a whole bunch of other stuff. So I know this is like, it's a wait and see sort of thing, but I'm also inclined to take his word on the fact that he has a reason for being confident more than just like, wow, look at all these structures. He's like, I feel like he's trying to say we've looked at enough things that are known and gotten good results that I feel like we can scan an unknown thing and say the results are interesting in the sense that we know what it should look like if it didn't have structures beneath it. Right?
Yes.
So,
but then you introduce.
Then they give us this very precise 3D map, and that's where I get skeptical. I'm like,
right.
Well, okay, I am now on board with the idea that there's something going on beneath the pyramid and beneath the plateau itself, whether it's natural cracks in the rock or actual man-made structures or maybe sort of expanded caves, whatever, it needs to be discovered.
648 meters down, 2,100 feet down.
I have no problem with the idea that an ancient advanced civilization could pump water out of something they were digging into.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's 2,000 feet down. Like,
yeah, 1.2 kilometers or something.
That's crazy.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's like, that's a little far. It's like the Giants question, right? Like, are you cool with like 23-foot
23
Giants?
feet?
Like,
yeah. Is 19 feet too tall?
That's a little big. That's a little big. 8, 9, maybe 12.
But if we get to 15 to 19,
it's like, I don't
stretching
know.
credulity. No, I'm not going to buy a 25-foot giant.
2,000 feet down is a bit much. Sorry. And the
but we have stuff like that.
The number and the size of these shafts and then these giant rooms down there, it's like, I don't know. Why I mean, that's like the worst thing to do under such a massive structure.
Somebody in the I don't remember who it was. Sorry. Somebody in the comments suggested maybe they were designed to be underwater. And then I started thinking about, you got a giant reactor. You need it to cool somewhere. And you make some giant circular shafts and just stick some cooling rods down in there. That would not be a very good system either, because you're going to, you run the risk of blowing your entire, using steam to explode your whole, but still, it's like.
Maybe that's how they got the thing running, and then all the water went out of the.
Yeah.
The water is seeping in through the water table. They've got this massive storage tank way below the water table. It's like a giant well.
Yeah.
And then they can boil it, and then it comes up through the pyramid, and it's pushing it out of it's the pump.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I am not going to like draw a line on this is too technological for any ancient advanced civilization. No. So the idea that some structure is too deep because it would be in the water table, I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say that's impossible. Like, we don't know how advanced they were if they existed.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's impossible either. I'm saying like, this is why I'm skeptical.
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is that is not a reason for me to be skeptical. I'm not going to be skeptical of any capability.
What depth are you going to get skeptical at? 10,000 feet?
No.
30,000 feet?
No, I would not be. I mean, I guess I'd get skeptical at the point where you might be reaching the discontinuity, but I have no, because I don't know what they could do. I can look at the way they shape stone and think like they could go through it like butter. They probably didn't care how deep it was.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about the square shafts that they want to clear out on the outside. And he was suggesting that these were to release heat. And I know we have tons of
That's all right.
comments and we'll
get to
super chats in there. We don't want to lose them though. We lose them in this scroll. But yeah, it's like he was suggesting that this was to release heat, to allow airflow, and also to let in light. I'm like, come on, dude. If they can dig that far, they don't need to have light holes.
Yeah.
Now we do it, you can go around and look at our buildings and be like, well, why would you have a skylight when you have all this technology to make light? Well, because we like natural light.
Yeah.
So I can buy that, but
a light from the pyramid is not going to make it 2,000 feet.
It's not going to make it down.
It'll be dark down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless the sun is like directly over top of the hole.
Yeah.
I mean, even this.
Well, it'll make a nice beam that comes in and gets scattered. I mean,
but 2,000 feet down, it's gonna be dark.
Yeah,
it'll be dark.
It would look like
you'll
a little
just see
pinprick of light.
You'll see a star up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The what is that? I can't remember what it's called. It's like the mysterious staircase or whatever below Abu Wash.
Yeah.
Like when you're on the surface and you're looking down there, it's like, it's so hard to see anything. Obviously, when you go down there, it's lit. It's lit, but it's quite dark.
Yeah.
Compared to the outside. And then
and that's
not very deep.
Not even close to 2,000 feet. I agree. All I'm saying is like it's been interesting to me to talk about this with you multiple times because you're like circular shafts, bullshit, too deep, it's bullshit, and I'm just like, okay,
spiral staircases,
and
I'm we don't see this.
I don't care about any of that because I have no like internal limits on what an ancient structure might look like.
I'm not limiting by that. Except that what I'm limiting it by is what we do observe there.
Yeah.
What we do observe, that doesn't match anything
that
we observe.
Yeah.
So why, I mean, it's like immediately I'm like, well, that doesn't really look like anything underneath pyramids.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
So that one is unique. For some reason, only that pyramid,
that we found. Yeah.
And then you start to look at the scans and you're like, okay, this artifact of round shafts with spiral staircases shows up everywhere.
Yeah.
On all the scans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like, this doesn't
look
legit.
Might be an artifact, yeah.
And so the intro video, it didn't really go that far, but it was a cave essentially in Turkey. And we went down, and I mean, these rooms were absolutely enormous. Some of the rooms were just enormous rooms in limestone, and it went very deep. So I'm not saying it's impossible to make a 60 meter by whatever, football field size room.
Yeah. With huge pillars holding it.
It would have to have columns and everything holding it up.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was granite or
although,
vaulted.
I mean, there are caves, limestone caves that have enormous caverns that don't have anything in the middle holding up the ceiling. So
but they're not square.
No, they're not square. You're right.
They don't have a big flat ceiling.
Right.
And there are very small caves in Egypt with flat ceilings, and they're falling apart.
Yeah,
they're collapsing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It doesn't match what we observe. So that's kind of my starting point. It's like, well, this doesn't match what we observe.
Well, okay.
Now,
so
there are pits under pyramids, but they are a certain way.
Yeah. In that particular argument, I say because we don't know where or when what we're observing came from. That was a very terrible way to explain it. Because we don't know what part of the history the stuff that we're observing comes from, right?
Yeah.
Some of it's obviously dynastic. So you don't expect that to match some ancient unknown civilization. But if you go through,
in a way it does though. It does match because they're copying.
They're copying, yeah. They're copying in some ways, yeah.
The stuff that they discovered. They repaired the pyramid. I believe that the dynastics repaired the pyramids.
But nothing in Egypt.
That's very plausible.
I think the point you made last week, which is a good one, is like nothing in Egypt really looks like the Osirian and the Valley Temple. These are unique places. There is that
They
one
kind of resemble each other.
They resemble each other. And then there's that place out in Fayum.
Yeah.
And out in the desert near the oasis there that is similar in style. Giant granite. Like heterogeneous blocks all stacked together.
I thought they were sandstone. Are they
No,
granite?
that's granite. Yeah.
They're like orange or red.
It's the pink granite, but it's out there. Yeah, that stuff is not sandstone.
I could have sworn that was sandstone.
No, sandstone. I don't think so.
Sure.
Maybe not. Maybe
I know we're getting off on a tangent, but whatever.
But anyway,
we can put that one on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say that like it doesn't matter that it doesn't match, I don't think.
Well, it matters to me in terms of how much weight I'm going to put into this discovery.
Okay.
So immediately, like, well, I don't recognize that at all. Like, we don't see that type of thing. The other thing is an engineering thing. Like, why would you put like a bunch of gigantic holes underneath like an incredibly heavy structure?
Yeah.
That's really weird on an engineering basis, especially when they spent so much time like digging down to bedrock and then when you look at like some of the weaker ones, they're falling apart because they didn't do enough foundation work. And now you're going to tell me like one of the biggest and most amazing ones of all like has like a gigantic holes drilled underneath it. Like, oh yeah, it's going to shore up the foundation.
No, it's not going to.
These are things that make me skeptical.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, I could be proved wrong. I'm fine with that. But I'm trying to explain why.
Yeah.
I became skeptical pretty quickly.
Yeah. I'm just
and
trying
then,
to,
of course, I was like with you, and when we talked to him, I'm like, damn, this is it's
I'm just trying to argue with you about it. That's all. I'm not saying you don't have a good reason to be skeptical. I'm just saying, like, if you looked at a cathedral and then at a dam, you might be like, well, these look nothing alike. So clearly the same civilization didn't build this.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they have two totally different purposes, you know? So our civilization is extremely versatile. And we first we have a concept. What are we trying to do? And then we say to somebody, I want a building or a structure that does this particular thing. And they're like, okay. And then they start engineering it. And you're like, wow, we don't normally build like round ones, but they're square. And they're like, well, in this case, I think we should do round, right? It's like, you don't question them. It's just how it is.
But we use this same argument. It's like, it's typological analysis. We use this same argument to differentiate between what we consider possibly a more advanced ancient civilization versus the dynastics.
Yes.
We go throughout Egypt and we look at all these sites and we say, this doesn't look, or maybe this looks like dynastics, but they took this from something more ancient because it doesn't match their other stuff.
Right. And
so I'm doing the same thing in simply saying, this thing doesn't match anything else that I see, so I'm skeptical.
You're right. We do that, but it's also that we do that usually, I think, combining it with capability. You know, like what is known about this particular people and their tools and their abilities based on what they wrote and the stuff that's been found. You know. Yeah. And then saying, well, with all that stuff that we know about this particular thing doesn't look like it can be done with that stuff. So maybe this is someone else with some other tools at an older time.
Yeah.
So that's a combination of things. But you're right. You could just look at them and be like, these aren't the same. But there's a lot of reasons besides the shape that makes them not the same.
You go from the Temple of Seti I down to the Osirian, and you're like, clearly not the same.
Right. Yeah. Like not, and even ignoring all capability stuff, you're like, this is not the same kind of building, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that Seti looks like a temple, whereas Osirian looks like a basement. You know what I mean? Like Osirian to me reminds me of, like, I say this in my presentation about it. It's like walking around in the parking garage portion of a skyscraper. It's, you know, it's very utilitarian, gigantic square concrete columns, you know, and, you know, unexplained channels and stuff like this because it's designed for cars to move around in and be parked. It's not for people to walk around in, which the upper parts are. But you can still say that building, all the levels of it, were made by the same civilization because we know the capabilities, but the Osirian basement part doesn't match the capabilities of the upper part. Right.
That's another one that goes very deep. Not 648 meters.
No, it doesn't go that far. Although like I wouldn't be surprised if they scan and they're like, wow, it's 2 kilometers deep.
This is the other thing is that like I shouldn't really say this, but I'm thinking I would have to go look into all of the details, but there is a somewhat regular depth to the giant square shaft under the step pyramid, to the giant square shaft in the southern tomb with the giant granite box in it. To Zawiyat al-Aryan, the giant ramp that goes down with the giant rectangular room with the giant box in it. There's the giant ramp with the giant rectangular room with chunks of granite in the bottom of it at Abu Awash. There's the well or the mysterious staircase with a beginning shaft. Like there's all of these features that look like this is what I think these things may be artifacts, even in dynastic times, and that they built pyramids or pyramids were built on top of them by somebody. And in some cases, there weren't any pyramids on top of them. And it's like they do have a somewhat regular depth. It feels fairly close.
So what do you think about, because I was thinking about this on the drive
Where's
home.
the 2,000-mile shaft? I mean, shouldn't we just find some 2,000-mile shaft somewhere? I mean, I guess maybe on the Giza Plateau. This is why I agree. Like, we should just dig those up. They're ready shafts. We should dig them up.
So what I was thinking about on the drive home today.
But they have dug up some. That's my point. They've dug up some shafts. And they all seem to have like a fairly regular depth.
A couple hundred feet.
Yeah.
In Peru, there's this like very clear... well, I shouldn't say that. It seems mostly clear. There's a delineation of 3 basic eras of construction. A very old one that makes almost no sense. And then a middle one, and then like all the recent stuff, including the Inca, them being recent in this timeline. So it could be that the like Hanan Pacha of Egypt is this deep stuff. And it doesn't look like the pyramid stuff, which is still not the dynastics, but later. And more megalithic. That could be. And I was thinking about that like the Hanan Pacha people, they didn't make blocks. They dug. They cut, And now, on the other hand, I do think that some of the stuff that may look like Hanan Pacha is actually places to attach blocks to walls.
I think they're the same.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much difference.
You don't think there's a difference?
But that's neither here nor there. That's a major, that's a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
And it could be. I just think I think they might be the same. I mean, it's like you said about the shamir. If you had the shamir, like, of course you can just cut weird things in rocks, but you can also make blocks. You do both.
So it may not be 3 eras. It could also be like the other thing that I was remembering about Egypt was we have the dynastic period, and then if you're gonna follow some of the texts, then there's the period of the Shemsu Hor, which is not dynastic and was way before it and is the followers of the sons of Horus. And then when you go back before that, you have the time of the gods walking the earth, the Zeb Tepi. So there's 3 eras, distinct in their mythological timeline texts, right?
Yeah.
So the really deep, crazy stuff that Biondi and this is why he was mentioning Zeb Tepi, and he's like, I want to place this somewhere between 36,000 years and 12, somewhere in there. And he's like, I just go right with the middle because I'm an engineer. I'll just pick the middle. This is the average age. I think it might be 18,000 years or something like that,
which lines up with the Peru stuff. Like I never can remember the name of this place, but it's in Bolivia. Yeah. Like the 17,000 year old.
Tiwanaku, Pumapunku, the Kalasasaya. Yeah, Kalasasaya. Yeah,
Kalasasaya.
So I'm just saying that this is another thing I was thinking about. Like, now I'm not trying to make this as an argument because I think that your reasons for being skeptical, especially about why doesn't it look like anything else we see, is reasonable because you're saying, we already go to Egypt and we say, well, that's dynastic, and this clearly stands out from it as being something else, and maybe this is older. And now you're saying, well, now somebody's showing us something that actually looks completely different from even that stuff, right? And now we have this problem of like, well, we have stuff that we think is already probably not dynastic, it is much older. So why wouldn't we expect that this other stuff that maybe new structures completely undiscovered should look like this other stuff? Or at least resemble it in some way. I agree. You would expect
Where's
that.
the rest of their shit? Where's the rest of their stuff?
Yeah.
Like what,
It's all underground.
Right.
And the Shemsu Hor guys built giant triangles on top of it.
We'll see. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like these are just building blocks for me for a case. And one of them is it's not familiar.
Yeah.
The other one is that the data has problems. Like the actual technology has analysis issues. It's both of those combined. And it's also one of those things that's like, damn, this is like so, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit, it's like, you want to get that scientific paper that says, hey, we found, like the Scan Pyramids project. They're like, we found another chamber in the pyramid. And you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there's the next guy who's like, we found 35 massive, way bigger chambers in the pyramid than you. And I'm just like, all right.
But
it's too much.
Yeah. But remember what happened.
It's too on the nose.
When the Scan Pyramids guys first released that stuff, one of them jumped the gun because he was so excited. And he was like, we found some crazy stuff in the Great Pyramid, and everyone got pissed, and they almost got kicked out of Egypt. And that was when we make fun of Zahi saying there's nothing up there, and even if there was, we already knew about it.
Yeah, we already know what it was.
It's
the throne of Khufu.
It's the Iron Throne of Khufu, all this bullshit. And then the paper came out later and vindicated him, right? But he totally jumped the gun because he was so excited.
Yeah.
And by excited, I meant they waited years to say anything, but they were already seeing it in the data, and they're like, wow. And then they're like, they get some more information and they do some more analysis, and they're like, dude, it's still there.
That was the other thing that really got me about the interview, was that Biondi is like, the Scan Pyramids project is like, they're a great team. They're doing great work, but they need to be careful. They need to be very careful.
I know.
Because they might be mistaking the roof of the Grand Gallery with the floor of something. I was just like,
I know.
Okay.
This is the other thing, is that I don't want to put too much faith in experts or whatever, but I would expect a guy who spent his entire career working on radar stuff for the military to understand reflection. And so I want to assume that like there aren't going to be reflection problems in his data analysis, because he's going to know this problem in radar because he's been working with it for his entire engineering career.
But not looking underground.
Right, but he knows the reflection issue. Like, this is the main thing you're doing with radar, is getting reflections and some of the
dude, why is the SR-71 Blackbird
impossible to see?
Yeah.
Because it reflects.
Because it has certain types of geometry. Why does the that giant freaking triangular thing with the missing pixels that flies through the sky?
Yeah.
Can't see it with radar.
Right.
Looks like a pyramid with some missing pixels on the bottom.
You
know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, okay, bro, you're shooting at a giant missing pixels triangle thing. Yeah. Maybe.
I'm just saying, it seems like he should know about this problem.
I agree.
And so I want to say, like, okay, if I'm going to take this guy as being serious about this, right? Which I do. I think he's serious about it. I don't think he's grifting. I don't think he's trying to. I mean, he said on the show, and if this is true, he was like, I'm not going to be involved in any excavation. We're going to let the university handle this. He's like, my name doesn't need to be involved in this. I would just like somebody to dig out that shaft, but it needs to be handled by the university's archaeological department, right? So I don't feel like, anyway, I'm just saying, if I'm going to take his word for it, then I'm going to believe that he's an expert in this subject, then that doesn't mean that he's right. I'm just saying, like, I do feel like this is a technical subject, and if there are problems with it, which there probably are,
tell me the problems.
I would like to know what the problems are.
That's what we were asking on the show, too. Yeah. And he just
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said specifically on Rogan that he's under NDA. Like he's like, I can't disclose a whole lot, and it does make it black boxy. The best thing for it to be, if it's going to be used in academics, he needs to come up with a version of it that isn't military, that can be used by academics so they can test it themselves. Because it has to be tested by second and third parties.
It's never gonna. I'm black pilled. It's never gonna freaking come out as like a technology that we can use if it's that accurate.
The other thing he said was that he's already being spoken to. He's getting communications from mining companies, from people who are looking for water, which is what I was telling him on the show when he was on here. I was like, I don't think you're gonna have any problem buying a Lamborghini if this stuff works.
The Lamborghini.
Yeah, the Countach.
The Countach. He was great. He really made me laugh too. Yeah.
Oh, they're saying something's wrong with the sound here. Sorry guys, we'll figure it out.
Are we gonna figure it out?
Yeah, somebody says there is sound. I don't know what's going on.
Check your computers, people. All right, maybe it is us, but all right.
Okay, that's way at the beginning there.
Yeah. So that was.
We had Nick came in and gave us a donation. I didn't see how much it was. Thanks, Nick. I don't remember what your question was either. Sorry about that.
Let me see.
Bruce Wayne, $20.
We still got sound.
Beer money for not being excited.
For the SAR interpretation.
Yeah, we're totally calm.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for the beer money.
This
$20
is
from Chris.
excitement.
Pleasure to skirp you.
Hey, Aquarius Unite. Boom. She knows. There's a birthday cake right there.
Yeah. Oh, she's talking about skirping you on your UFO thing?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She nailed it. Okay, follow-up report.
She said it was pollen, but it was a...
She posted something. Somebody posted, I think might have been Crease in the Discord. I'm sorry, I can't even remember now. I think she posted in the Discord, oh, by the way, there was a SpaceX launch.
Yeah, SpaceX, yeah.
And then I went and looked up the video, and it was literally 5 minutes after the SpaceX launch.
Okay, good.
That I took the video of it.
Perfect.
So it was a spaceship.
Yeah, it was totally a spaceship.
Dude, it was a spaceship. I saw a spaceship after visiting Marty, and we were like, what is that? It doesn't look like a plane. Correct.
You were totally right, yeah.
It doesn't look like the moon. Correct. It doesn't look like Venus. Correct.
Totally correct, yep.
So, yep, it was definitely unidentified at the time, but
it was a spaceship.
It became identified, and it was a legit spaceship, folks. It was a SpaceX launch. So thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. Zach Wander.
Oh, he's going to
1618.
Signed up for October.
See you boys in October. Woo! Straight to pyramids. Awesome, bro.
Hell yeah.
See you there, old boy. We had some more earlier. I don't remember. Prove them wrong.
Prove them wrong.
Who's wrong? It was unidentified.
Yeah. But she was also wrong. She said it was pollen. Yeah. It was an airplane with pollen.
There probably
totally
was.
Wrong.
I'm sure there was pollen in the sky while the spaceship was flying through it.
Proved them wrong.
Let's see. Can I see other ones on here? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Shiny Elven Queen. 5 somethings euros. I made it to a live show at this ungodly hour because my dog needed a wee. Oh, yes, definitely euros. Love the SnakeBros. Thanks for joining us. I hope hope everything went well with the dog. Let's see here. Dang, I lost my place. Okay, the next one, Any Davis, $5.
Yeah, that's Nick.
Nick! Dang it. I got to remember. Has anybody mathed out any of the resonance/sacred measurements in Giza relative to music theory? Related. Kyle, send me a bass set list. Cheers, boys. Okay, bro, I'll send you a bass set list. And no, I don't think anyone's mathed out any of the resonance sacred measurements in Giza relative. Oh no, Robert Vater. Oh,
well, look at this. Look at this.
Birthday, Dad.
Link.
Come on in.
It is my birthday.
Yep.
Happy
Hey.
birthday, Kyle.
Thank you.
We need those lighters right there.
Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Are we gonna-
Hello, internet.
Here, you want to light some candles?
Yeah, here.
Are you gonna light some candles?
Yeah, you're not supposed to light your own candle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The
so
whole
it is.
family's in here.
It is Kyle's birthday.
Me light some candles.
Here, Lila, hold on to my hand. You can
I could probably
hold on
light
to
a
Nani's
bunch.
hand.
You gotta
Mayhem.
Do the ones
Mayhem.
on the
The
inside.
girl.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do the ones on the inside first.
Inside.
Did that one not work?
No.
That did not do well.
Oh, this is gonna take a while.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
all right. It's okay.
Birthday and meow meow meow.
How's the show going so far? What are you guys talking
Look at
about?
this balloon.
Look at this.
Got a balloon.
Show is good. We've been skirping this
Show me your
pyramid
sword.
scans.
Okay.
Look at this outfit.
Why do we only have two? I thought we had 3 lighters.
Well, because I only have 2 hands, and I guess I'm not able to do 2.
I have the power in my hand.
Wow,
Laura,
you really
if
did
you'd
it
told
up. Look
me
at
I
this.
have a whole
What is
bucket
this?
full of
Oh,
these
this
things
is your
at
link
home.
glove.
Yeah.
These lighters.
Sick, dude.
Ow.
This is your. This
I
is
do it
his
from
Tears of the
okay.
Kingdom Ganon hand.
Acts like it's out
No,
of gas.
no, wait. It's Robin's hand.
Hold it to
Oh, it's Raru's hand.
I'm sure this
okay.
is very
The
entertaining.
options-
Remember that.
The options
Donut.
were 44
No.
candles or 2 4s.
It's getting hot in here.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay.
Melt the
This
tree.
one doesn't
Oh.
work anymore. Oh, yes, it does.
We don't even.
What the heck's going on?
Here, look. Just do this. You gotta just.
You're going to get in trouble for lighting.
I'm not. It's the other candle. I didn't light this
Okay.
candle.
The other
Hey,
candle's
get
lighting.
out.
That makes sense. Don't set your
not how
fingers
you do
on
it.
fire.
Okay, ready? Oh, yeah, just one left right in there.
Oh, there's a
There's
few.
one right here.
Got it. There it comes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Nobody's
I'm the old
breathing.
fofo.
Nobody breathe. It's almost ready.
Okay, that
I'm
one's
the
lit.
legit fofo.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Wait, no, there's 2 there.
Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, let's blow it out.
You got it in.
More.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
It's too many.
All right.
Okay.
I thought
we
I
need
could
to
do
a
it.
Study. At what age can you no longer blow out all of your birthday candles with one breath?
I was trying not to spit on the cake.
It's like 39.
Well, we love you, babe. Happy birthday.
Thank
Do you want
all.
us to leave your cake in here with you, or do you want us to take it?
Welcome.
You guys want to take little like finger dips, while you're doing the
Oh.
doing
We
the
might
show?
have to take a break and cool it down in here.
Yep. We got a little hot air.
That was a lot of fire,
take
folks.
it.
It's
Bye, Snake Force.
really hot. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to take it out?
Yeah, we're gonna take it.
Yeah, we'll come in. We'll come in and have a piece. We'll take a quick break.
Bye. Bye, Snake Force.
Thank you, guys.
Cool.
Yeah, now it's really warm in here.
I'm the old fofo. All right, I gotta turn this camera back down.
Yeah, that was great.
Did you need a break?
Almost perfect timing. Well, we could cool it down a little
I can
bit.
turn the crickets on.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'll put these on.
Oh, you got your yeah. I do want a piece of cake though.
Yeah, well, we can let's just read some emails and then we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we beat this thing to death.
I don't feel like it was beat to death. That was a great conversation. And
Yeah, I agree.
I like the philosophical part. Like, I think that what I want people to understand, and I think this is what you're getting at too, is that I am hopeful about this tech. I do think that it is a viable way to do like rough explorations of large areas that can go at depth into the earth. In other words, you can get enough of an information to see like, is there something interesting here? Right? How accurate it is, I don't know. I think it can become more accurate. In other words, I do think it's a viable method. It
Yeah.
may need more work. Whether what they're seeing or they're claiming they're seeing underneath the pyramid is actually there as human-made structures, I don't know that either. But I wouldn't have I don't doubt that it's possible.
Yeah.
I would
agree
like
with that.
this to result in some kind of exploration that looks for it.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
like let's dig out. They have specifically, they're like, there is a shaft
Chefs.
on the plateau that they think connects to this greater structure beneath. And they're like, we just want permission to dig this thing out.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Like, even if there's nothing down there, just having that, like, how deep are these things? Like, when was there's no documentation on if it's ever been completely dug out. So that would be amazing. And I do think that this technology is promising. And it is like, I hope that it's going to be another tool in the tool bag of archaeology in the future. And I think he seems to want that as well. You know, I don't know if he's going to be able to get away with it, because I agree with you that if it actually works and it's very precise, that it's going to be locked down by every military on the planet.
Yep.
But it'll get out. It may take half a generation, but it'll get out, you know?
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of like Google Earth satellite imagery. That's what I was comparing it to before. Like it was around for a long time. We didn't have access to it. Now we do. It's curated.
Yeah.
You know, and we're given only, you know, we're given the stuff for the plebes or whatever, which is great.
Yeah.
So,
but we have like unbelievable access to satellite imagery in a way that was, would have been unthinkable at the time that we were putting up satellites to spy on people with pictures.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree. I like your optimism, and I feel like this is often the case, honestly. Like when we encounter these types of things where you're way more optimistic, and I'm just like, meh, ain't gonna happen. So I like it.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see. And that's really, I think the bottom line for me too is like, I definitely think it would be awesome if this led to excavations that were meaningful. The shafts on Giza, we've been walking past them for years and just like, dang, why don't they dig these out? And so this would be a good cause, even for the probably very skeptical standard model, the Egyptologist, to say, okay, no, we'll dig one out and show you.
Yeah.
That would still be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So I hope that that something does come of it, rather than it just turning into this thing that was like, well, the scan was there and then they never dug, and then and now it's just forever. It's like, what about the shafts? And it's, oh my God.
Yeah.
This just turns into one of those things. So I do hope something happens.
You know what it reminded me of too? I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I guess it's Gordon. Is it Gordon White? He's the one that does the magic stuff.
Yeah.
He was also, and he did a podcast about chaos magic, but he's also in the tech world.
Yeah.
Like his actual day job was tech world stuff before he quit all that, moved to an island in the middle of nowhere and started doing magic podcasts. But he talked about how, one of the books he wrote that I read that was about the ancient world, called Pieces of 8 or Stardust Ships. That's what it was. He was on an interview discussing that book, and he was like, look, I was involved. He's like, I can't name any names. There's all this secret, everything's got NDA wrapped in law and all this stuff. But he was like, I was in the room where presentations were being given, where basically tech guys had been tasked by governments to come up with a way to map underwater stuff in the deep oceans in a Google Earthy kind of way, because this was all new and emergent technology at the time. So we had all this, he was like, there's an enormous amount of data from various governments and militaries doing things with sonar, with more precise things. We've got listening stations all over the world that have been going since the 50s or earlier for submarines. But we have all this data and none of it matched itself. But somebody was like, can you take all this stuff and kind of build a map of the ocean that's precise? And he was like, and they're basically giving a presentation to, some people, and they're like, so we're making this map, and like, what is this thing? you guys know, is this yours? And do you know what this is? And he's like, well, they pointed out multiple places on the deep ocean floor where like, is this yours? This is not a natural structure.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying like, this reminded me of that. It's the same thing where somebody is now like, oh, look, suddenly the deep oceans are transparent to all this technology because it's, and combined with computation, right? And algorithms and stuff. And so this is maybe similar. Now suddenly like the first 2 kilometers of the Earth's surface will just become transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually that will be added to Google Earth.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Right? It may take 50 years.
I'll be dead.
But it's like the bottoms of the oceans are,
I'll be 94.
Right. The ocean bottoms and the things in the oceans and contained within the oceans, this has already been done. And it's been mapped. It isn't publicly available yet because of the military applications.
Right.
I think the same thing will happen to, the top part of the Earth's crust. And if Tesla was right, the entire planet can be seen through if you have the computation.
Yes.
Computational ability.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's nothing wrong with the principles of the technology revealing what is under the surface.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I start. I'm like, yes, this makes sense. But it's like saying you can tell where the speed and location, the velocity and location of all the ships on the ocean by analyzing the waves at the shore.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But that information is embedded amongst so many other variables that you have to account for. And you don't know what the other variables are. So it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And in that sense, the universe is not simple.
Right.
So it is. Yeah. I can't help it. I'm just that's where I'm at with it, and I want to see. We gotta get eyes on it. We have to drill. We have to dig. We have to do something to confirm. And I hope that happens, because if it's not true, I don't want it lingering around. And it's one of those things I feel like. If it is not true, it doesn't really matter, probably.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be
there
like,
who will
forever be like,
to believe it
in 50 years, it'll be like, Fleischmann and Pons. It's like they discovered cold fusion and then they were murdered and freaking whatever, and it was covered up. And then there was all this, which that actually might be real with Fleischmann and Pons, because there are situations like that. So it's so hard to. You just got to weed through it. And I have to use, I'm just following my gut basically on this, because I don't know for a fact anything.
Yeah.
About that, other than just like what I can observe and what, just looking at the data and a little bit about that I've learned from, I would say, the Artifact Foundation scanning and the difficulties that arise from that process.
Yeah.
And I'm not acting like I know a whole bunch about that, but I just am in the conversations like, well, we still have this difficulty of aligning the thing and then the analysis and this and that, and we got to get it right. And it's hard to, it's a difficult thing that I don't understand, basically.
Yeah.
So yes, even though you're right on, like, this guy's been doing this is what his career is based off. This is what he specializes in. Obviously, the acoustic aspect looking underground is new, but he should know things. And like, yeah, but you still make mistakes. I just can't help but thinking these things. And it's like, am I being too negative?
No,
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's there, but I don't think it's there. That's kind of where I'm at. I doubt it, and I'm skeptical of it.
That's fine.
So
I also don't believe it's there. But all I was trying to say
there is a possibility.
I don't believe that there's something beneath the pyramid. I do think that there's no reason it couldn't be there. Right? I don't think that it's impossible for something like that to be there.
I agree with that.
So I don't think that I would say, well, that can't possibly be there, therefore it's not. Which is not what you're saying. I'm just pointing out that, like, if if it was there, it's almost like what you were saying to me at the beginning when we were first looking into this stuff. And I'm like, look at these structures, and you're like, well, yeah, somebody built them. What's the big problem?
If it's there, it's like, well, somebody did
okay,
that.
it's there. I don't know why it's round with
Someone did
circular
it.
staircases, but
Why?
it's there.
Then we can ask the question, why did they do it so different?
Yeah, exactly.
And that would be very interesting. That would be interesting.
And I guess what, in the end, what it comes down to is there
was it in Alexandria? We went to the catacombs and there was like a round with the spiral staircase going around
exactly.
it.
We were
very
like,
much
this is
like the
fucking
catacombs.
weird.
Yeah.
But I think that, you gave a lot of good reasons to be skeptical and to like remain, don't get married to this whole concept. And then I was just trying to give reasons like, well, here are the reasons to be optimistic and maybe it can work. And even if this isn't, like, if there's nothing beneath the pyramid, I still think this technology has promise.
Yeah.
Or this idea.
I do actually think there's things beneath the pyramid. I would like to see the shaft in the subterranean chamber completely dug out.
Yep.
There are stories of people, traveling in these tunnels under Giza.
Yeah.
They're not 648 meters down.
Yep.
But if this leads to uncovering those tunnels, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I saw Trevor just before I came down to do the show. Trevor Grassi had posted on X that they've now bricked up the entrance to the what is it, the Tomb of the Birds or whatever it is that people are saying connects to all these things. It's now like completely blocked. Not just a gate, but they've actually bricked it up.
Yeah,
and he's
probably,
like, oh,
probably people are like trying, they're
people are trying to get in,
breaking through the gate.
Yeah.
They probably have all kinds of artifacts stored in there. They store a lot of artifacts in the ones that are like locked up. They're huge storage areas where they have tons of artifacts that are, they're not going to move to the museum or whatever, that have been excavated, and they just stick them in those things. Apparently there's quite a few places like that, including in Abydos.
Yep.
Tons of stuff in storage in these caves that were made in ancient times. They're just storing shit in them.
I think the same thing with the Valley of the Kings. A lot of the tombs that are not open are their storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's his name? The guy who did the Upu Out project.
Gantenbrink.
Gantenbrink discussed it. He was brought in specifically to help.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph Gantenbrink was brought in to help. Like before he was working on the pyramids, he was brought in to help engineer shoring up and protecting some of these. And he was like, and they were just full of artifacts.
Yes.
And we had to clear out all this stuff so I could get in there and figure out why the roof was falling in.
Yeah.
So it's like, they do use them as storage, and that's why they put locked gates on them.
Yeah. So another thing you see in a lot of these existing square shafts, these giant deep square shafts, is that they are and have been for a long time falling apart.
Yeah.
And like in ancient times, even they put masonry on the walls, because when you go through these limestone layers, there's really good layers, and then there's really crappy ones.
Yeah.
That are not even cutting a straight wall. This portion, this layer that runs all the way through, they cut this shaft, and then that stuff starts to just fall out and fall down the shaft. And so you can imagine this thing just eating its way out and filling up multiple levels of this. So they, who knows? And especially if in the presence of water, what state they'll be in if they do exist. And that's another question that I have too, is that like, okay, all this rubble falls down and fills up the bottom. How are you still seeing a square? How are you still seeing this room if it's full of...
He did. Yeah, I know. He did talk about that. He's like, look at these piles of rubble at the bottoms of the... So I don't know. And I would expect that too. And I would think like if like the way we do this now is, we bore into a mountain or something like that, or dig a cave, and then we shore it up with concrete and beams and steel. And, it's not just rock.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going to be in use for something like in other words, we dig holes, but then we like reinforce them with stuff. Always. And so that would be amazing if what it actually was like these deep shafts and huge chambers, and they're actually lined,
reinforced
with some kind of like
or something.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking about, and people were mentioning this in the chat too earlier, is that the labyrinth, it's all underground and it's massive. There's way more good evidence that actually is a real structure. well, I shouldn't say that. It's using known technology to image it, known and proven technology to image it.
Well,
but-
one thing you could do in Cafre is take a GPR unit and go down the descending passage and just run the GPR
Yeah,
and look down. I know
but it's like 20 meters.
yeah, but still the shafts go to the bottom,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The shafts go up and meet it somewhere.
yeah,
So you should be able to see something.
yeah,
And these chambers along the side of the Great Pyramid that they show, all these big giant chambers in this thing,
Yeah, if
right,
they're not
right
too
at the
deep, you
bottom
ought to be able
edge,
to
you
see
should
'em.
be able to run it along the base there
Yeah.
and see some chambers.
yep.
So these things need to be done. At this point, it's like we got to have that. We have to have that.
Yeah.
Like hopefully the Scan Pyramids project will look into some of these things. I mean,
Yeah.
they have the permissions and all that kind of stuff, and they should be able to just, okay, well, like here's a chamber they claim is there. Let's go GPR. It's within range. That would be good.
Yeah. But if they do find something, then nothing will happen. Because like that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened with the Sphinx, right? They did multiple GPR things in the
But things are changing, right? I mean,
I hope so. Yeah.
the fact that the Scan Pyramids project exists and that they're doing, they've been doing.
I would
these
like them to
scans
get
for
over to the
years,
Sphinx.
and
Let's have Scan Pyramids do a proper GPR of the entire enclosure floor.
yeah,
You know, and like so that would be the third one maybe or more if they did one and like okay we now have like a massive group of guys that have been working there for years. Let's send them over there to do it to the Sphinx. Do they get results that say like, yeah, it looks like a couple of voids beneath this thing a couple of meters
Yeah.
down?
yeah.
And remember the other thing I was gonna say was like, what was it, like 100 feet down they hit granite apparently?
Yep. They
So
drilled or
that's
whatever.
not 1.2 kilometers, but it does seem to be like there's structure beneath the ground there.
Well, 150 feet below the causeway
Yeah,
is the chamber with that granite box in it,
yeah,
in the Osiris shaft.
yeah, yeah. But none of that's lined with granite. Like there's something.
No, but you could run into a giant granite box.
that's
and
true.
get
Yeah, yeah. You could run into a granite box. Yeah. Okay. Now we've beat the subject to death. Should we just call it? I could read a couple of emails.
How long have we been doing this?
It's an hour
An
and a
hour and a
half.
half?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a couple emails.
Okay.
Might as well.
see
But
what-
we got to catch up.
We do have to catch up. Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, we're by no means solid on our answers. Like, we don't know. That the ultimate answer is a classic Snake Bros one. We have no idea.
Yeah.
There are reasons to be positive. There are reasons to be skeptical. We'll have to see. So,
Yeah.
appeal to future research.
Okay. Let's see.
I think we had a couple more super chats. Let's see. Oh, we got some super chats real quick. Let's do this. Okay, we got a happy birthday. Happy birthday, dude, from kind of full $5. Thank you, bro. Thanks for the $5. I really appreciate the birthday wishes. Lots of happy birthdays in the chats.
Yep.
Appreciate it, you guys. Everyone sang. Wow, that's cool. Hopefully some of you all were at work singing. That'd be cool. We got another one. Let's see. Oh, five Brothers of the Serpent gift memberships by
Wow.
Asher995. Thank you.
Dude,
Very,
thank you.
very much appreciated. A $5 from Sacred Number. Appreciate it. Another one. Another $5. Happy birthday, Kyle.
All right.
All right. Appreciate that. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So let's read some emails and then go get some cake.
Okay.
Because in this case, the cake is not a lie. Okay.
We will have it and eat it.
That's right. We'll have our cake and eat it too. All right. This is from Rob, and it's called New England Snakes. Hey guys, still working on my way through your catalog. Oh, by the way, this is from the middle of December of 24, so we've almost made it to 2025.
Hot dang.
We're still working my way through your catalog. I'm currently on episode 172 on the Velikovsky Heresies series you guys are doing. It is amazing.
Wow.
I never heard of this guy until you brought him up, and hearing Laird Scranton tackle it after 50 years of technological progress has proven him right on so much. Geez, I got to read this book. Anyway, the reason I'm writing is because I consider myself a snake bro like yourselves. I live in New England, and I'm starting my own podcast. But I've heard you guys throw out the term New England Snakes before on past episodes, and I was wondering if you'd ever want to talk sometime about expanding the Brothers of the Serpent brand. I'd love to call my podcast New England Snakes.
That's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or something like that, and consider myself a spin-off of your guys' show. However, I totally 100% respect what you've built, so do not hesitate to tell me to get lost. No hard feelings whatsoever.
No way, dude. Just do that.
Well, yeah, now we're a year.
Yeah, if you haven't already done that,
yeah, you should definitely do it.
Whatever your podcast name is, you should probably change it.
I do have some backup names I've been kicking around in case you guys do say no. Most likely I'm going to go with Something for Your Mind, since I want my podcast to be stimulating new discussions, so it's giving you something to think about. But I wrote you guys an email before about how I discovered you when you guys appeared on the Danny Jones podcast, and since then, I've been binging your stuff trying to catch up to the present day. As I said before, I'm on 172, which was recorded in the midst of the pandemic. It is so weird listening to all that crap get dragged up again. I'm glad this is over and done with.
Wow.
Anyway, whatever you guys say about the name and spin-off idea is cool with me as long as you guys keep doing what you're doing. That's all I need. And maybe you can give my show a listen once I get it uploaded somewhere. Yeah, dude. Take care and long live the New England Snakes! P.S. Kyle, I love the bumper music that you played on episode 81.
Oh.
Malta, after the segment where you talked about your friend who passed away. It struck a chord with me, and I wonder if you could play it in its entirety sometime at the end of an episode. I'd love to hear more of that piece.
I have to pull that one up.
Yeah.
Man, I have no idea.
Was that from Booker?
81.
I
don't know.
I think that was Booker.
Really? Dang. Okay. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, figure out what it is.
Was it at the? It was at the end.
He said at the end, yeah.
Of what? The end of what?
Of episode 81. No.
It was
after the
end
segment where you talked about your friend, so it must have been after the first
Oh,
segment.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to be. Yeah, because that was back in 81. Back in 81, when before we reversed the podcast.
Yeah.
How come these don't have?
Oh, look, he's in there. Rob, that was your email? Sweet.
Hey,
yeah,
what's up, dude?
If you haven't already named your podcast, you should name it New England Snakes. And if you have named it, you should rename it. Like Kyle said. All right, now Kyle is trying to find out what song you were talking about.
Okay, I got to episode 2.
Sorry it took me so long to get to this, bro.
Let's see. Yeah, go to the next one.
Okay, I'll go to the next one.
I'll try to listen.
All right. This is from, let's see, it's Vic Vector from Discord. Missing 411. He says, Russ. Oh, you got it? He's pulling it up, folks.
Wait, didn't we always do like 45 minutes on the first segment?
For 45 minutes. Okay,
Let's see what kind of crap we're talking here.
Right. We don't have a crane that can do that. Right. It would have to be one of the. You'd have to build some enormous gantry thing or whatever. Right. With the and even those cranes, those ones that they use at ports that pick up the giant cargo boxes, the steel boxes full of stuff. They can't.
It's the same stuff we talk about today.
Yeah, dude. Was this yesterday? Okay.
For the small.
Come on.
And they would have kept water out. That's crazy to think of.
We're already in the main subject. I must have passed it. You're gonna have to give me a minute. Just go to do.
Okay, all right. I'll try to read this. Okay. So it says, Russ, I'm rating the killings and kidnappings in the Missing 411 mystery is using a chemical agent that we are not testing for. I believe it's probably something like aerosolized gabapam or gamma amino hydroxybutyric acid positive allosteric modulator. Wow. Think of something like Xanax that could be used for area effect. My background is psychopharmacology and neuropsychopharmacology, toxicology, and mycology, all of which I've studied extensively for 30 years. I'm going to continue my research on this. Let me know if you have any questions. And if any drug or toxin-related information or research is required, I might be a good resource to direct that to. Wow, okay. I mean, I do think in some of the later 411 books, he talks about the possibility of there being some, I don't know if I want to call it a toxin, but some agent that was being used to put people into a kind of almost a paralytic trance. But I'll have to, we are going to continue on the 411 stuff, and I will bring it up. So when we get to that parts in the book, for sure, I think he was saying that there's possible that they were using something on some of these people. And the kids in specific, like that show up and they're kind of in a daze and they sort of slowly come out of it. But yes, it was like they were drugged, which is very interesting. And you're right. They're not testing for it. We discussed this multiple times that it's like, if you think it's a missing persons case and then the person is found, then there's no more investigation, right? So they don't treat it like a crime, which means that they're not checking them for drugs or whatever. So, but that's a very interesting idea. And I think it is possible. Thank you. You still looking
I
for it?
pretended like I was paying attention.
It's
the whole
okay.
time, but I wasn't.
I knew you were not going to contribute to that at all.
Sorry about that. I can't find it. I'm just skipping forward by 15 seconds. I'm not hearing any songs. But I'm going to find it, dude. I will find it.
He's in there. Rob, give us a timestamp.
He doesn't know this was a year ago. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is the first, but dude, this is no. This is the song of the first segment. But I don't know what we were talking about. We were reading emails, so I don't know if this is it, because this is it. Rob, you tell me if this is it.
Oh, yeah. We use that one a lot.
But it's not a complete song.
Right.
It just repeats, like it does this little intro and then it repeats everything over and over again.
And we are back here at the SnakeBros Institute for
So-
Advanced Corporate Studies.
Ah, that's when we used to say corporalites.
Corporalite.
We also said serapium. I heard that too.
Yeah.
That was good.
That is the way to say it.
If that's the song,
Hey,
is it really?
I had this discussion with Ben and Yusuf and Mo again when we were in Egypt, because I'm sitting there listening to him say it. And I'm like, they're saying
Serapium.
Serapium. And I was like,
Holy
and I went to
smokes.
Ben, I was like, bro,
No, it
Are
was
you-
slow or sad or not a big deal.
I was like, are you sure that it's Serapium? Because listen to how they say it, Serapium. Because it's
Yeah.
named after Serapis.
Yes, Serapis.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, got real grumpy on me, but
How about that one, bro?
that one's one of my favorites.
That's slower and sadder.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
SnakeBros.
That's got to be it. We call that one
Slideshow.
slideshow presentation.
Yeah. Slideshow music.
Slideshow music.
Yeah.
Is it in the Patreon?
It is.
Okay. It's in the Patreon in full.
Yeah.
Let me see if
If you go to the Patreon and you look up the music tag, you'll find most of the bumper tunes.
See, do I have slideshow music in here?
No, it's a crime.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
dude.
crime,
That
bro.
is a crime. I will put it in here now.
He
I
doesn't
will
have
put
it,
in
folks.
here now. Okay. Next email.
Okay. Snakes on T-pillars. This is from S.O. Bailey. Says, good morning, Russ. On people, they're still trolling me, bro. They're trolling the old grumpy morning Russ. Good morning, Russ. On episode 340 with Andrew Collins, Kyle asked Mr. Collins what he thought about the snake slithering up the T-pillars of Göbekli Tepe. I believe that was an attempt at misdirection because clearly the serpents that were chiseled upon the pillars are evidence of time travel. Obviously, some member or members of the Snake Force either created or got their hands on a time machine and graffitied all over the past, adding to the mysteries of the ancients, which, curiously, is the primary topic discussed on Brothers of the Serpent podcast. Sincerely, S.O. Bailey.
Wait, why was it a misdirection? I was doing this song.
It was a misdirection because, okay, I'm not sure. This must have been 242. We had Andrew Collins on, right? Was that episode 340? It couldn't have been 340. Must have been 240.
No, 340 is like now.
Yeah, 340 was not that long ago. Yeah, so he says on, and this was sent in, well, I don't know. Anyway, he says, Kyle asked Mr. Collins what he thought about the snake slithering up the pillars of Göbekli Tepe.
Yes.
And he says that this was an attempt at misdirection because clearly the serpents that were chiseled upon the pillars are evidence of time travel. Because Snake Force members went back in time and put serpents everywhere.
Okay. Yes, I was trying to hide the truth. I was trying to mislead everyone. That's true. It could have been 340 because we're on like 370 or something.
We're at 370. This is 370. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. This one's called I Really Dig Your Show from Mr. Green 64. It says, hey there, Brothers of the Serpent. As far as I'm concerned, you guys are at the very top of the pyramid when it comes to really cool, badass shit to talk about. I mean this. To make a very, very long story short, I'm finally finding podcasts, especially yours, that confirm and validate stuff I've been interested in and reading about for years. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Keep up the good work. I'm binge listening to all your podcasts. Super cool shit, man. I'll try and donate when I can, but please know I wholeheartedly support your show, and if I'm unable to financially support it,
bro.
I am able to mentally support it by sending tons, like the pyramid-sized piles of good vibes your way.
Appreciate
Sincerely,
it.
Mr. Green 64. Yeah, dude, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
I love getting the emails that are like this, and yeah, I mean, just by listening, you support us. You know, doesn't have to be monetary.
Yep.
There's all kinds of value.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
that's support. That really does help. I would like to read this one.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Zenet.
On the music chapter, I'd like to know what mantra is in the Deos song.
All right.
You just want me to give you all the secrets. You just want me to just hand out the secrets.
I got this great email about that, actually. I wonder if that's from the same person. Did you send us an email about this?
You want
Yes,
me to
you did. No, wait, that was somebody else. Okay, somebody sent an email about Deos and about listening to this to that album.
There is a way to find out what the mantra is.
There is.
And it's in the vinyl.
Yeah.
That's not a sales pitch, but I'm telling you, I'm not giving out the secrets because the people who buy the vinyl have a puzzle that they can figure out. And I will just tell you right now that the puzzle in the vinyl is Deos.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big clue. That is the mantra of Deos.
So there's months been trying to find it out. Okay, found the timestamp. It was 10:14. So it was super early.
Snap.
All right.
Let me go back. 10:14. Man, that's an early song.
Well, maybe we did the
Episode with 62 with beautiful. I think we actually put a picture of it on. Yeah, we did.
Nope.
Episode with beautiful.
What episode was it? 10:14 episode what? Rob? Hey, well, we'll figure this out, man.
I need to know. Go to this. What's this? Anyways.
Okay. I got another email here. Rob will tell us what episode it was.
It's called 81 Malta.
I know, but if there's no song at 10:14,
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that was my bad. I'm.
He said, okay, he says, yeah,
I'm an
Malta
idiot.
81.
Oh, it
There
was
it is.
Booker. You were right.
Awesome snake bro.
Ah.
You will. Be
That's gone.
missed.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you are. How did you know? That's insane. That is Gone. That's on the Procession album. You look it up on YouTube. It's called Gone.
Yep.
The album is Procession.
Yeah, or you can just go to $50dynasty.com
Or $50
and find
Dynasty,
it. It's
yeah.
gone. Yeah.
It's called Gone. Wow. Cool. Okay.
Are you guys seeing a delay? Is everyone seeing some kind of problem with the audio and the video?
Yeah, well, we changed the settings to bin settings like right before.
It doesn't show up on our end, so I don't know what you guys are seeing.
We changed the settings like right before the show.
Right, but is there...
Seeing a delay? Is everyone seeing some kind of problem with the audio and the
Watch when I clap.
video?
Let's see.
No.
Yeah, well, we changed the settings to bin settings like right.
Barely. I mean,
It doesn't
Barely.
show up on our video.
Yeah, well, we changed the settings to bin settings like right before.
Oh, yeah, it's like, what is that, like
almost nothing.
200 milliseconds?
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Crease.
All right, some of you guys need to work on your computers.
Yeah.
This is obviously...
Try
it's-
buying some internet.
It's end user error. But like every time, like I see somebody like, oh, there's something wrong with the sound, and I'm like, oh no, we got to fix it. Okay. Okay. All right, one more email and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. This is from. It's called the Shroud of Turin.
Aha.
From Tony, and this is the first email of 2025. So it says, "Hey guys, I have listened to your podcast for a while now and find them brilliant, usually interesting enough to listen for their full duration. The main thing I like is your interest in lots of seemingly disparate subjects, recognizing where, for whatever reason, the mainstream academics are not re-evaluating their opinions in the light of new available evidence to the contrary. I am a retired architect in my 80s now, but I am still intensely interested in the built environment, particularly the practicalities of manufacture and construction. Your Egypt and Göbekli Tepe evaluations are excellent, and Bin's vase scan project is fascinating too. When the first scans were analyzed and the mathematical formula for its design were published, I thought it was so earth-shatteringly pure and beautiful that the archaeological community would be immediately having other artifacts analyzed to either confirm or deny the initial findings. Of course, their reputations are at stake here, so little chance of that. Have you seen the latest findings on the Turin Shroud? I have always thought the shroud was a medieval forgery, but the latest investigations are appearing to show the opposite. Your brains are younger than mine, and you may be able to offer enlightenment, pun intended, on the results discussed on this video, and he includes a link, and this one too, which was the first one I saw, and there's another link. Together, they seem to indicate that the shroud is the genuine article. Perhaps you guys understand the physics of how the emanating radiation making the image could have occurred. I think that no one has ever been able to replicate the image-forming mechanism since. Love to hear your views. Keep up the good work, from Tony." So, I have to say that I'm aware of the new stuff coming out with the Shroud stuff, but I haven't dug into it at all. The Shroud is... it's like of peripheral interest to me, but it's not something that like I'm extremely interested in. But I do agree that like the argument has been going on forever, and that it's like it's a forgery, and then it turns out that the samples they took were from parts of it that were repaired and like that specific time, and it's all this is very interesting. But the idea of how the image was made, and people are getting strange results is it's not. I haven't dug into it, but I do. I need to actually. I need to look into it more.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
But I have followed like sort of tangentially the back and forth on the Shroud for a long time, and it's like, you know, it's there's two camps, and I think it's
does this all come down to like proof of the life of Jesus, that Jesus actually was a person?
That's what I'm saying is
so like I don't know, for some reason I'm not interested in that debate.
yeah,
I guess it is interesting, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't. That is not a high priority for
That's
me.
why I was going to say I think it's a false. It's like this isn't a binary choice. Like it's sort of like how maybe I shouldn't make this comparison. It's not quite fair, but it's sort of like in the way that you can see some young earth creationists making this argument where they feel like if they can disprove something about evolution that it means the earth is only 6,000 years old. No.
It's the other way around because they're like, if I can just prove this one thing, then like Jesus did exist. It's
right.
Like, why?
It's not that. I don't think that's the case. So I feel like the shroud is a fascinating artifact, and it would be interesting to find out what exactly it is because there's aspects of it that don't make any sense. In some ways, there's something similar to the vases. Like they're trying to say it's a forgery made in the 1500s, but like who in the 1500s could make this image in the... Right, so it's
classic.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like that. Like, oh, this is a forgery. Like, well, who was carving this with a lathe or whatever, this precise in 1860? This vase, right? So it's the same thing with the shroud. So I think it's interesting, but there is this kind of, you get this sort of, well, if it's not a fake, then it must mean Jesus is real, and I don't think that's the proper way to make an argument. But it is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you listening to the show. And
I guess for me, it's like people that have faith in Jesus, like why do you need to go prove it with like physics or something?
right.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
there's
weird.
some kind of validation, I guess. Yeah.
Are you looking for validation? Like, I guess that's my question.
guess
Do
a
you
lot
need
of
to
people are.
validate it for yourself,
Yeah.
or do you need to validate it so you can be like,
Yeah.
you know, like
You're
I
all
don't,
wrong.
I don't. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like,
Yeah.
look, if you believe, you believe, and like that's not what your faith is about. You know, do you need? This is the same thing that happened with the Abu Huraira, the Sodom and Gomorrah deal, and it's like, okay, we can prove the Bible. I don't know. I'm like, I guess that's not really my interest. My interest in that site particularly is that like people witnessed a bolide event and it wiped them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is, I think, something that we should be aware of.
Yeah.
Like that's a little bit, it's kind of like some ammunition for the argument of the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, or that we might need to be concerned with things from outer space. Like that's kind of the way I look at that one. And then people are taking it to another level and saying, hey, we can prove the Bible or disprove the Bible.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
That's cool. Fine.
The
but
Abu
that's not
Huraira
my
stuff, the Tel Al Hammam, all that stuff is like,
Yeah.
that is fascinating stuff.
It's really
the Shroud
cool.
of Turin is an amazing thing. And I don't
Yeah.
think it's some stupid forgery.
Yeah.
And I think that the whole like this proves some biblical stuff or Jesus was real is like
That's
it's
peripheral.
irrelevant.
Yeah,
Exactly. What matters is the artifact itself, right? I think it is really fascinating. And Chris is actually saying that Trevor wrote a book about it. We should have him on if we want to talk about the shroud.
Edfu was saying that the shroud is supposed to validate the resurrection. It created the image. How would we ever know that?
Right.
How would physics discover that? You know?
Yeah,
So physics is going to say like, oh, well, when someone's resurrected, it like imprints an image on a clock.
take
Like,
it easy. Take it easy.
sorry, dude. Like, this is why I'm saying it's like, I don't know, whatever. That's just not my.
That is the argument that people make, though. That's what he's saying. I'm not sure if he's saying it. I'm just
no,
saying
I know
that, like,
you're not saying. I'm not
but
saying this to you.
I do
but
think that that's what people think. Like when he was resurrected,
the
there was
super
this
chat.
there was this emanation of light that like somehow imprinted an image of him onto the shroud.
Right. How can you prove that with physics? I just don't. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's kind of like. I agree. I think we're saying the same thing. It's an interesting artifact, but if the purpose is to prove something like that, like that's, I just don't see that as.
Chris is getting real mad.
I don't know enough about this thing. Okay, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. I'm just like, why? Maybe if people need that for themselves, that's okay. I shouldn't judge them, but.
That's what I'm saying. I think that the artifact itself is fascinating, and it doesn't matter what religious
Yeah. Okay.
arguments people are making.
That's a
with
good
it.
point.
Yeah.
I don't think
But I
physics
do
is going to
think
be able to prove it.
that this whole dichotomy, this false one, it has dominated the problem with the shroud for a long time. And there's plenty of people who don't want it to be true because they feel like it's going to validate this Christian stuff. And there's plenty of Christians who want it to be true because they feel like it's going to validate their stuff or invalidate the skirp. So whatever. I think that the artifact itself is what's important. And that all this other stuff is just, it's irrelevant. But that is, unfortunately, most of the arguments you see with the shroud. Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed this. He's like, this is a super chat earlier, sorry. Edfu says, I missed most of the show, and yes, make them work for the Deus lyrics. You made me do it, and it was totally worth it. Snakes! Cool, dude. Thank you.
Awesome.
I didn't know you figured it out. Did you? Maybe you told me. I forgot. But that's awesome. Hey, confirmed.
Yeah.
One person solved the puzzle.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. And he hasn't told everyone the secrets. He hasn't he didn't tell him.
Yeah.
So see?
Because once you find them for yourself, you're like, you gotta figure it out.
I ain't gonna tell you.
I'm not telling you, asshole.
That's cool. Very cool. So yeah, I wasn't directing that at you with your comment about the resurrection. If that's what it is, because I don't know a whole lot about it, it's just like, well, okay. This is not a very good, in my opinion, people that really want to prove this or somehow prove the resurrection, they shouldn't be trying to use physics to do it, because I don't know that physics has a department in what happens when you are resurrected.
Yeah.
Like, where is the control? Like, how do you... I don't know. Anyway. It's called faith. For a reason.
Yeah. I have faith that these kinds of arguments will never stop.
In the chat. And who is the guy who wanted the song?
Rob.
This is for you, buddy.
And you can... we have a brand new website. It's beautiful. You can support us on Patreon. You can also support us through PayPal, but just go to brothersoftheserpent.com/support. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. And if you haven't joined the Discord, you should jump in the Discord. Also, if you want to send us emails, I read them all. I read some of them on the show, brothersoftheserpent@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. We love you.
Always have, always will.
Good night, Adamu.
Get back to work. And by the way, this is an instrumental version.
Instrumental.
That's all I got for the playlist. So rock and roll, guys.